When it comes to sim racing steering wheels, size actually does matter. As we all know, having total control over your steering is crucial, and it turns out that matching your steering wheel's size to the type of racing you're doing is quite important. So in today's video, we're going to take a deep dive on steering wheel size so that you know exactly how to choose your next wheel. There are three general size categories for sim racing wheels: the 330mm class, the 300mm class, and finally the 270 to 280mm class. These measurements just refer to the steering wheel's diameter, and they roughly translate to three racing categories. On the large end, we have rally steering wheels, in the middle we have GT wheels, and for the smallest ones we have Formula 1 wheels. Remember though, these size categories are more like a guideline, and they aren't actually that rigid, so you'll find steering wheels at all sorts of sizes, including some larger ones for trucks and retro cars. But to find out why these different styles of driving prefer these different sizes, we need to take a look at the physics of steering wheels. First, the diameter of the steering wheel is proportional to its circumference. What that means is that the wider your steering wheel is, the more distance your hands travel when turning it by any given amount. So let's say you turn the steering wheel by 90 degrees. If you've got a small 270mm wheel, your hands travel about 212mm. But if you've got a bigger 330mm wheel, that distance becomes 259mm. That's an extra 47mm of travel for the bigger wheel. So, what does this all actually mean? Well, with a smaller wheel, the reduced hand travel allows you to make quicker turns and adjustments. This is why open wheel styles of racing, like Formula 1, prefer smaller wheels. The cars are super fast and are designed to drive with a huge amount of downforce, which means they can make rapid maneuvers without losing control. On the flip side, the longer travel of larger wheels gives you more fine control, since you have more room to play with for smooth and gradual changes. And that increased steering control can be advantageous when that Formula 1 style agility is not as necessary. Steering wheel size also affects force feedback. When your wheelbase applies a torque to your steering wheel, you'll feel it moving in your hands. And as it turns out, the further your hands are from the center of the wheel, the less force you'll feel. So, small steering wheels will have sharper and jerkier force feedback, while larger wheels will feel more muted. The story is similar when we talk about weight. The heavier the wheel, the more dull the force feedback. Once again, the choice you make depends on the type of racing you're doing. A small Formula 1 wheel might feel too sharp and tiring for GT endurance races, or even for rugged rally car racing. On the other hand, getting too large of a steering wheel might result in too little force feedback and numb steering. To summarize, smaller wheels allow for faster turning, greater agility, and stronger force feedback, while larger wheels give finer-tuned control at the expense of force feedback strength. Each racing style prefers the wheel size that offers the best combination of performance, comfort, and force feedback that they each need. So, how should you actually choose your steering wheel size? The obvious answer might seem to be to buy a matching steering wheel for each type of racing, both for the sake of performance and for realism, but it can be a bit more nuanced than that. Not everyone can buy multiple wheels, and being comfortable can be a more important consideration for some racers. For example, even if you focus on Formula 1 racing, exclusively using a very small and realistic wheel might end up cramping your arms and hands after longer sessions, especially if you have a bigger build. On the other hand, always using a large wheel might reduce agility and force feedback in ways that negatively impact your performance. If you're buying your first wheel, we would recommend a mid-sized wheel around the 300mm mark. This will give you the best overall combination of maneuverability, smooth steering input and force feedback, and general physical comfort. While mid-size wheels are particularly suitable for GT racing, they are still very usable in Formula 1 and rally car contexts. The same can't be said for other scenarios. For instance, if all you have is a 270mm Formula 1 wheel, you might not have a very pleasant time using it for off-road rally racing. So there you have it, everything you need to know about steering wheel size. Hopefully that millimeter measurement is no longer a mystery, and you now know how to choose your next steering wheel. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out SimSportGadget.com for all your sim racing needs and accessories, and thank you so much for watching the video. We'll catch you in the next one.